Hello everyone, this is Create with Kay, and here today we are making some Christmas cards. So here I'm showing you a few cards that I've started making, as I am extremely new to making Christmas cards. Like, these are the first cards I've ever made. That one right there is the one that we're going to recreate today. Love this one. Might do that one at another date, but the next one is the one that we are definitely doing in my next live, so stay tuned for that. If I can find that gold paper, I cannot find matte gold paper right now, and I ran out of it for those snowflakes. So we also probably are going to be making some with this stamp set from the Sassy Club. I love this stamp set, brings back all of my childhood. But this footage is actually from a live that I did last week, actually this week when I'm doing this, somewhere in there anyways. And I accidentally set it to private somehow. I don't know, my lives haven't been going that well, but I'm trying, and practice makes perfect, right? So yeah, I didn't get that much response from it, more than the last one, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, every live that I do record, I will also do an edited version like I'm doing now, so that you don't have to sit and watch an hour-long video. You can sit here and watch a 20-minute video and get everything. So alright, like I said, I am recreating this one. We are changing it up a little bit here and there. We are doing a red one, a green one, and a blue one. Unfortunately, the red one does not make it out. I accidentally stamped and forgot to move my paper in my fake Misty, and so yeah, it stamped double and didn't make it out of the embossing part. So these are heavily inspired by Christina Warner, so if you're not familiar with her, definitely go check her out. She's amazing. Yeah, she's what I am inspired for, or inspired by, all the time. We are just using, like I said, red cardstock, and then I was using that lumberjack, the new Tim Holtz color, to just bring in a little bit more dramaticness to this card, except for the lumberjack was pretty much the same color as that paper, so then we brought in some black soot. Next, moving on to the green one, we are using, oh, this one is Wilderness. Hold on, something, Rustic Wilderness. Rustic Wilderness is this color. It's just a little bit darker than my cardstock. This was a little bit more like Kelly greenish. And so yeah, I added a little bit, and then we will go in with some black soot. Of course, black soot is probably magic, I know. So I am just using some like cheapy cardstock, guys, so it does warp. It's what I have. I'm not a huge card maker. Like, Christmas will probably be the one time that I make cards. I don't know, maybe I'll get into this. I would love to send more cards to friends and family. I mean, who doesn't love getting cards in the mail? So yeah, we'll see. I will link all of my supplies, of course, below, but honestly, I am just trying to show you that you can make cards from the more affordable options. Sometimes, yes, it does, like, it is worth it to put money into your supplies, of course. So that's why I do put money into, like, my oxides and my embossing powders. But as you're going to see here, because I'm brand new to this and it is expensive to start doing everything all at once, I have a fake Misty, and I don't have, the glass mats and what you're going to see from the big card makers. We all have to remember that, they do get a lot of things sent to them, but they did start somewhere, right? So you always do have to start somewhere. So I loved the color of this cardstock. I didn't have the color blue I should have just done black soot on the outside of it, but I felt like it was like too, like, I don't know, I felt like that was like too stark to go from that light blue. So I end up absolutely loving this card, but I do change the entire like color of it. It ends up being definitely a blue. I am using Uncharted Mariner is what I'm using here for that blue. And then Salvage Patina to bring out that light blue again. That was like the closest color I could get to the original cardstock. So I think I'd flip it over here in a minute. I am definitely speeding up the blending process. I think I sped that up to like 600 times, so you didn't have to sit through too much of that, but get a good. And honestly, you don't have to have a great blend here because I'm covering up most of it. So, all right. So for the most part, we are going to be using silver tinsel, white, and Princess Gold for our embossing powders, all from Ranger. Again, I don't have like the Brutus Monroe golds and, all that kind of stuff. Eventually I might, venture out when these probably get low. We'll see. We'll see how much we make. But, you never know if you're actually going to stick to this or stick to this hobby. You tend to, do lots. So, all right. So, so here is my fake Misty. It's not connected technically. So it's all connected by like magnets. And it works for the most part. But yeah, I mean, there's some things that I don't love. Like there's no corners to this, so you can't just put your cardstock in a corner. You have to definitely make sure it's like lined up exactly at I think I line it up all the time at like the 1 inch mark. So I don't know. So you can't put I guess you could put a sticky mat in here. There's different things, but it's like half the price of a Misty, and my Misty is on my Christmas list, so we'll see. If not, we'll figure it out one day. Until then, this works. So just using that Versamark ink, of course. So one thing that I do find as a new card maker is, there's just a lot of steps, and that's okay. Every card is not going to be perfect. Every card is not going to turn out, right? Especially when you're new. So I would forget to do my static pouch, my anti-static pouch sometimes, especially because with this technique, I am mixing in embossing powders. And you're going to see I was too lazy in the beginning to get up and go get a coffee filter pouch. It's what I usually use, so I was using this. This did not work out great. I kept on getting... because this was pretty cheap cardstock, it took a while for the ink really absorbed into the paper. So it just took a while for that ink to absorb. I actually cut out the drying, I did dry it with my heat gun. Especially the green and the blue, definitely, because I put so much. Ooh, there's that gold popping. I love the embossing. Look at that. Magic. Anyways, loved this green card. Guys, that gold, I might go back and just do a green and a gold card and not any silver. Because the only silver I do have is that tinsel one. I don't have a matte silver. So I might go back and do an all green card with the white sediment. But anyways. All right, so what we're doing is we're just keeping our stamps right in there. I am going to change up the blue one and where I want the sediment on the blue one, so that does make me change a little bit. If I was to go back, I would just kind of do all 3 cards the same. So I think that's where I ended up getting a little mixed up, is because I wanted to change the sediment for the blue one, and then things just got a little wonky. So, but I was trying to not mass produce, but semi-mass produce, I guess, a few of these cards all at once, since I already have all of these snowflakes on my fake Misty. I don't even know what it's called. Hold on, let me see. I can figure out the name of it. Bayara is maybe what it's called. I'm not sure. Anyways, I figure let's try and do 3 cards, and that way I'm not setting up all of these stamps for just 1 card each, since it is a little bit of a process, since you can't emboss all of them at the same time, since you're using all different embossing inks. So, but for the most part, like I said, until that one little mishap, honestly, it was going perfect. You just had to remember to kind of use your static or anti-static pouch or whatever you have several times over again, and I kept on forgetting to use my anti-static pouch, and that's where I was falling short of, or my paper would move just a little bit because I would not put down my magnets or something along the lines. So all right, so here goes that blue again. This gold, I love this gold. It's so pretty, guys, so pretty. So all right, here I am lining that back up again, and I believe this is where I will change over to the silver snowflakes. I will mention, so like I said, I got this idea from Christina Warner. She has beautiful snowflakes from Simon Says. I think she actually designs most of the snowflakes, if I remember right from her saying. But you know, actually I think she designs the dies that I use in that other Merry Christmas. Maybe that's what it is. I can't exactly remember. Anyways, but as I was looking, like, sometimes those stamp sets are just a little pricey, right? So I went onto Amazon and just typed in snowflake designs or stamps, and bam, got this. And they were $6.99, I believe, $6.99 or $7.99. I'll have to look. I'll link them below, and honestly, they were perfect. So I am still looking, not I do wish, but I am still looking on Amazon for a much larger snowflake stamp. That is probably the one thing that I'm missing from this collection, which she has in the stamp set that she was using. So you're going to see me, I believe, right here. Here's where I make the mistake, right there. I don't believe I wiped off my stamps good enough right there, and then see me moving that paper. So that's what happened. Like when I went to go push the thing to pick up the stamps, you can see that it already stamped it a little bit, and then my paper moved, and then I restamp, and you're gonna see that when I lift it up, you're gonna see me checking right there, and I'm like, oh no, I just ruined my stamp. Yeah, right there. And everything kind of double stamped. I ended up embossing it just to see how it would look. That I thought maybe I can salvage this. I couldn't. We just had to put it to the side. I did just save the paper, because you know that top gold one is perfect, and maybe I can like punch it out and use it. I was so upset with myself because I really wanted that red one, and I really wanted to get 3 cards done this night, so it is what it is. But I already had a red one done from testing this several weeks ago when I was getting into the midst of all of this, so it is what it is. And things, right? And I wasn't going to start all back over. I was like, at this point, I think I'm like almost 45 minutes into this live, so. All right, learn my lesson. Put my magnets down every time. Now you're going to see like I'm like being very vigilant with checking and making sure that I had everything done. And here we go with the green one. So with the green one and the red one, I was going to put the sediment in the same spot as that original card, but the blue one, I wanted to put it in the dot center. And yeah, I end up doing that still. I keep my plan. Guys, oh, this green. I'm obsessed. Is anybody else obsessed with the emerald green this year? We just got our family pictures done, and I put myself in this color, pretty much this color green dress, and we used like the emerald green plaids and the tan for my husband, and I absolutely loved our outfits. We probably are honestly gonna wear it for like Christmas Day. Other than that, my dress is a little too dressy for Christmas Day, or Christmas Eve, however, but we'll see. Maybe I can find a green shirt, and we'll probably use those outfits for Christmas. All right, so here I am about to do this sediment. This one is Have the Holly Jolly. Where's my cards? Oh, I think my cards might be upstairs still. My kids were looking at them. What does it say? I think this is, 'Tis a Season to Be Jolly. This is a stamp set from Tim Holtz. Again, I'll link it below. I did find it, so I'll link it below, but this is one of his like stamp Stamp Anonymous Tim Holtz collections with the stamp and stencil. I just love how big and bold it is, so I used it on this one. The other one is actually a Simon Says stamp, Sentiment. It's from the same collection as that Merry and Bright. It was her ornament builder, pretty much. I just didn't use the ornament part of it. I did think about that was going to be my next kind of rendition of this card, is doing the ornaments, as I have several stamp sets of ornaments. Also collected from, there is the Simon Says Stamps one. This was actually another Christina Warner. As you can see, I'm a very big fan of Christina Warner. I'm also a huge fan of Jennifer McGuire. I don't think she designs quite as much like cards. She's just a, card designer. But Christina Warner, I feel like, has more of my classic, clean, modern style when she makes cards. Sometimes sometimes obviously there's going to be always one or two cards out there that I don't love by her. Here I was like, oh my gosh, I have to restamp this because that one Snowflake didn't stamp and I was so nervous, but it worked out. Yay. I did do my third embossing in the white embossing powder and all of my sediments in white, just so they'd pop off. And there we go. It's crazy how much the color of that card changed with the ink blending, but when I flip it over, I'm like, oh. All right, so you can see they're warping. It is what it is. I glued it down and put it under an acrylic block, and they, for the most part, the green one is a little bit beveled, but for the most part, they flatten back out. So I'm not too worried about it. Again, if my family members want to complain about, cards being warped, they don't deserve my handmade cards, right? So, all right, the next thing, I had to move it out from the edge, and that's what makes me really nervous, because I don't have that edge on the other side of this, knockoff Misty, and because I wanted those snowflakes to go off the side. So, yeah, this is gonna make me nervous. You can see lots of hesitations and everything, so it's gonna be like making sure everything is lined up 45 times, and right there I was like, oh, one stamped on the edge already. Look at me readjusting, making sure everything is good before I stamp again. It comes out. But doing this live on top of not being a card maker, but I want to put this kind of stuff out here, because I think that sometimes card making, especially when you're watching the YouTube pros out there make them, it just seems a little daunting, and that you'll never make something that people will like, and honestly I thought the same thing. And like the first time I did it, and the first time I told my husband that I was going to do it, I think he thought that I was going to come out with some cheesy looking card, and then when I brought them up, he was just like, oh, like that actually looks really good. So he doubted me a little bit, but yeah, now he's like, that actually, if you want to take the time and do it, then you go right ahead, ma'am. All right, so now I'm explaining that obviously I just had a little bit more spots to fill, and so I would bring out little filler stamps. This one is going to be from a Close to My Heart stamp set that I have. This one right here that is called Imperfectly Patterns, I think, or something like that. And there's one right here that just has a bunch of little dots, and that way I can just put it on acrylic block. And then I got the little teeny tiny snowflakes on each side of my stamp block, so I can just go in and really position where I want those to go and fill in all of those little itty bitty spots that need to be filled in on each card, that are going to be different kind of on each card, I guess I should say. Okay, yep, more silver. I felt like I only did that one set of silver, so I did silver on this one, and I think I did gold on the green one. I think. Can't tell you for sure. Lots and lots. This gun was so hot by the time I was done with this live. I think at one point, like, I seen it smoking and I was like, oh geez. There I am, still just filling in just a few itty bitty little spots here and there that I see, so that it just makes the card look finished. And then using some white. I kept telling myself, like, why am I doing it this way? Honestly, do not follow what I do. I am just learning, of course. I should be putting the embossing powder on the card from like the actual container while it's over top of the thing, because I was getting embossing powder everywhere and over the coffee filter. Like I said, I was getting embossing powder everywhere. I've had to clean my space about 3-4 times. So, all right, just getting a card base. And guys, I'm just using card bases from Joann's, Michaels, that type of thing. Nothing special. Again, yes, if you want the premium, you know, card stack and everything, definitely check out Simon Says Stamps. I will link both so that you can have both options. And then I glue it all up and realize, oh shoot, I wanted that cut down a little bit so that they would have a white border. So, yay, don't do this either. Don't do this. So I put it into my little galantine thing or trimmer and cut it down some. Like I said, don't do this. Glue everywhere. But it ends up working out. I mean, if you're in a pinch, it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to do it for the card. And I really wanted that white border. So it really also wasn't cutting all that well because all that glue on there was like, you know, making it, I'm making an already pretty warped card collapse pretty much. But it definitely did stick because it had a lot of glue by the end of it. And then I'm like, oh crap, I'm about to put it upside down. No. There we go. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to leave all of this in here because I want you guys to see, just like with my scrapbooking, I want you guys to all see the craziness that kind of goes into this. But look at it. It's so pretty. I absolutely love it. Like, absolutely love it. Now I'm using those acrylic blocks. That is definitely a trick that I've learned from Christina Warner, of course. To just flatten out that card and make sure that it is down with all the glue. And then I learned from my mistakes, right? And went in here. Now, so this one, I did not go in and fill it out, actually. I'm sorry. I think I was done. It was like almost 11 o'clock at this point at night. Do I go in and do it? Let me see. I feel like I do. I did not leave it this blank. Yeah, I definitely went in and filled it. I actually might have went in and put a few more. I wish I had the cards down here to see what the end product was. Yep, there we go. I was gonna say, did I come back in and do this? All right, so we're gonna do this process all over again, pretty much. Stamps were still on there from the blue card. I am going to reposition just a little bit because that blue card, the sediment was in the middle, as I think that's probably what I was saying right then and there. And then I'm just trying to mix and match up my snowflakes. If you get 2 snowflakes that are the same on the same card, it's not the end of the world. But I definitely was trying to make sure there wasn't too many like gold snowflakes by each other or silver snowflakes by each other. And having them go off of the edge just to create that, you know, that look, I guess. So yeah. There we go. Yes, I am doing the filler. Perfect. And there's that gold. Yeah, I definitely, if I remember it, I definitely thought that this card needed a ton more gold. Alright, and let's watch that gorgeous gold come to life. Well, if I show it to you. By this point, I was trying to keep that paper from not warping as much as possible. yeah, so we're starting to come together. So one thing that I have decided for this channel, it is going to be like a paper making channel, I guess I should say. As where my other channel is definitely going to just pertain to my planner and my bullet journal and all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested in that kind of stuff, definitely go check out my other channel, Plan with Kay, and I'll link it down below. And then, of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, as throughout the year I will be throwing more and more of these type of videos in. I don't know exactly how many videos I will be doing. I don't know how much time I'm going to be having to get cards out. Gosh, do I hope that my life settles down here. But recently my children both are in travel baseball, so this is our down season technically, even though my oldest son starts his training here in a couple of days. They recently decided that to earn money for baseball, as it is pretty expensive, of course, they wanted to do hot cocoa bombs and raise money. Well, the other night I told them that I would post it on our community Facebook group and see if they got a few orders before they started their Christmas launch, is what they're calling it. And they ended up selling over 100 and it was 130 something hot cocoa bombs. So we definitely have hot cocoa bombs coming out of our ears, but we're gonna wrap that up, and here we are going to put our card back down, and there it is. I absolutely love how these two came out, and if you do too, please comment below and let me know if you are making your own Christmas cards, and if you are new at Christmas card making also. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you are new, and thank you guys so much for going along on this ride with me. Talk to you guys soon.